Hello there, you're watching Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Well, the top developing story is that of the Samajwadi Party feud, where Election Commission will hear the warring factions of Akhilesh and Mulayam Singh Yadav today. So, will either one get the party and the cycle, or will the symbol be frozen? Well, that will be the top focus at the top of this hour. Let us start with the headlines. Election Commission to hear Samajwadi Party dispute today. Factions led by Mulayam Singh Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav have submitted claims over control of the party. TCS CEO Natarajan Chandrasekaran, appointed chairman of Tata Sons, replacing interim boss Ratan Tata, says leading the conglomerate a huge responsibility. DMK to stage protests across Tamil Nadu as Supreme Court refuses to deliver its verdict on Jallikattu. Organisers say that they will deny the ban and carry out the sport on Saturday. Cold wave tightened its grip over plains of North India as temperatures continue to dip. Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh record extremely heavy snowfall. No relief likely till the weekend, says the Met Department. And Barack Obama bestows a Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest U.S. civilian honor, on Vice President Joe Biden. Award comes as both men prepare to leave office when Donald Trump is inaugurated on 20th of January. Well, with the prospect of the Election Commission freezing the Samajwadi Party's cycle symbol looming large, now both father Mulayam Singh Yadav and son Akhilesh Yadav, who are locked in a bitter fight over the control of the party, are now getting a plan B ready. On a Thursday, Akhilesh Yadav held a meeting with the party workers and assured them that he would soon start campaigning. Now, today, the full Election Commission, headed by Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi, will hear both the sides and take a decision on the party symbol based on the deposition by the lawyers of both the camps. Now, the Election Commission is expected to adhere to the precedent which was set during the split in Uttarakhand Kranti Dal in 2011. The Election Commission at that time had frozen the symbol chair and had asked both the factions to contest on fresh symbols. Well, with the filing of the nominations so far, for the first phase of assembly polls now drawing closer, UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav now asked his ministers and legislators not to worry about the tickets as he fine-tuned his strategy, as his father and SP Supremo Mulayam Singh Yadav and warring uncle Shivpal Yadav camped in New Delhi. Akhilesh remained closeted with his confidants at his official residence in Lucknow to discuss the poll scenario. All right, so it is a very crucial day for the Samajwadi Party because Election Commission is going to hear the warring faction. It is the first date of hearing today, and this comes even as the date for the nomination of the first phase of UP Assembly elections are drawing closer. So it is going to be very crucial for the party to be decided on who gets that symbol, or in fact that the real possibility is also that the Election Commission may actually freeze that symbol. Now, after announcing the poll schedule, the Election Commission is actually running out of time and will have to pronounce a verdict soon. Well, we'll keep a very close look at that developing story through the day. Meanwhile, the BJP and the Congress released their list of candidates for the upcoming assembly polls in both Punjab and Goa. Well, this is the first list of candidates from both the parties to the two states. Here are all the details.
Both the Congress and the BJP on Thursday announced their first list of candidates for Punjab and Goa. The BJP, which is fighting the Punjab polls in an alliance with the Shiromani Akali Dal, has announced 17 candidates out of the 23 seats it has been allotted. Of these, 5 are sitting MLAs.
पंजाब के चुनाव में हम लोगों ने कोशिश की है कि समाज के सभी वर्गों का प्रतिनिधित्व हो और साथ ही साथ चुनाव में प्रत्याशी जो हमारे हैं उनको हम जो अच्छे प्रत्याशी चुनाव की दृष्टि से हमारे इसमें भाग लेंगे उनकी मैं लिस्ट आपके सामने पढ़ता हूं.
Besides Punjab, both parties have also released their first list for Goa. Congress released a list containing 27 names, retaining its 6 sitting legislators as nominees. The other 21 candidates comprise both old and new faces. BJP's first list for the state contains 29 names, including current Chief Minister Lakshmikant Parsekar and 18 sitting MLAs. However, the party has not announced the chief ministerial candidate for Goa yet.
संसदीय बोर्ड के बैठक में चर्चा होती है. अभी चुनाव समिति की बैठक की चर्चा होती है. अब चुनाव समिति में कैंडिडेट्स की चर्चा होती है, प्रत्याशियों की चर्चा होती है, वो हुई है.
Besides the assembly polls, the BJP has also announced Rajendra Mohan Sena's name for the Lok Sabha by-poll for Amritsar. The seat was vacated due to Captain Amrinder Singh's resignation. With Pranav Goswami and Vishal Daya, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, expressing serious concern over the possibility of huge distribution of cash and inflow of drugs in the run-up to the Punjab Assembly polls, the Election Commission has promised adequate security to maintain peace and harmony during the polls. On the final day of his 2-day visit to the poll-bound state of Punjab, the Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi said that an unprecedented deployment of central forces will be ensured in the poll-bound state to instill confidence among the voters to exercise their franchise fearlessly. Now, referring to the incidents of stone pelting and hurling of objects at the candidates during campaigning, Zaidi said that the Commission had directed the State Police Chief to take steps to ensure that such instances were stopped immediately.
There is going to be large-scale distribution of liquor, drugs and cash distribution in certain identified pockets, and then they have requested strong and forceful preventive action.
And in more election-related news, the Election Commission on Thursday said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's photographs and hoardings at petrol pumps in poll-bound Goa are a violation of Model Code of Conduct. The EC has also alerted the Goan Cabinet Secretary on the issue, but the Congress had complained against the hoardings at petrol pumps with the Prime Minister's photographs earlier this week. The EC has also raised objection on certificates issued by oil companies in Uttarakhand, which has pictures of the Prime Minister printed on them. The Election Commission has also censured BJP leader Sakshi Maharaj over his population control remark. The EC in its notice said that prima facie, the MP from Unnao in poll-bound Uttar Pradesh has violated the Model Code of Conduct, which came into force on 4th of January. Now, Sakshi Maharaj on 6th of January had indirectly blamed Muslims for the population growth of the country at a public meeting in Meerut. And the Aam Aadmi Party has demanded the removal of Union Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal from the cabinet and a registration of a case against her for inciting violence in Punjab and targeting AAP volunteers. Now, Harsimrat Kaur had accused AAP of egging people to resort to violence ahead of the Punjab Assembly polls on 4th of February. Also, former BJP MP Navjot Singh Sidhu is likely to join the Congress party today. Sidhu met Rahul Gandhi in Delhi on Thursday. Now, Sidhu's wife Navjot Kaur has already joined the Congress along with Bargat Singh, a former Akali Dal legislator. Also, MIM chief Saduddin Owaisi will kickstart his UP Assembly poll campaign today from Kairana in Shamli district. The party has released a list of 11 candidates for the first phase of UP Assembly polls. Now, Kairana was in the news last year due to the alleged exodus of residents due to deteriorating law and order situation there. On to some other news now. A DMK will launch a statewide protest in Tamil Nadu today against the Supreme Court's order where it turned down a plea to pass a judgment on Jallikattu before Pongal this Saturday. While the protests will be held in all district headquarters, condemning the state and central government for not taking appropriate timely steps to ensure the conduct of the rural sport on 14th of January. Meanwhile, protests erupted in part of Tamil Nadu on Thursday, demanding the ban on Jallikattu to be removed after the top court said that it was unfair to ask the bench to pass order on the matter immediately. Earlier, the Tamil Nadu government had urged the centre to consider an ordinance to resume the sport this year. While other political parties in the state too have asked the centre to intervene on the issue. Remember, the Supreme Court had banned Jallikattu in 2014 on the grounds of animal cruelty.
We have put forth a very strong argument to bring out Jallikattu. Everybody is asking why cannot they bring an ordinance. Yesterday, last time we brought a bill, it was quashed by the Supreme Court. Now, when the problem is in Supreme Court, definitely that also will happen. So we want a clear indication, and Jallikattu should be conducted without any hurdles. Permanently, there should be a solution.
So our Honorable Chief Minister OPS and our Honorable General Secretary Chinnamma also wrote a letter to Prime Minister, and we all feel we want Jallikattu this year. So let's see what our government is going to give an answer for this verdict.
The Tamil Nadu government has not represented properly. It has not represented the people's feelings and emotions and their appeal properly, definitely to the Supreme Court, not to the central government.
Knowing the sentiments of the people of Tamil Nadu, the state government or the central government has to bring out this ordinance. If they fail to do that, I don't think they can prevent Jallikattu being conducted this year against all the orders like.
And what all will be making a news through the day today. Let's take a look in the day ahead. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament will examine the CAG report on public funds lying outside government accounts and land management in DDA, among other subjects, as the panel is meeting today. The committee will examine the reports of the CAG and will also call on senior officials related to the ministry, which is under its scrutiny, as witnesses to assist the panel. A special Delhi court will hear a CBI report in a coal scam case involving Congress leader and industrialist Naveen Jindal, ex-Minister of State for Coal Dasri Narayan Rao and others. Well, earlier the top court had pulled up the CBI for delay in filing the report, saying that it was affecting the progress of the trial. The CBI has alleged that ex-Jharkhand Chief Minister Madhu Kora, also accused in the case, had favoured Jindal Group firms in the allocation of the coal black block in Jharkhand. Calcutta High Court will hear a plea filed by RSS regarding denial of permission from Kolkata Police for a rally on 14th of January. The High Court on 12th of January had observed that the citizens' right to assemble cannot be curtailed as long as they do so peacefully, and had directed the Commissioner of the Kolkata Police to consider an application submitted by the RSS to hold the event. But Kolkata Police has denied giving any permission for the rally on 14th of January and asked it to fix an alternate date. In News at 10, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We have a group at our institute which is trying to understand how do stem cells contribute to wound healing and repair. The group that I'm in is actually one of the younger groups, in the sense that it started more recently, and it's a group which studies basically how cells determine what they are going to be. People who are trying to understand how cells make food and how do they utilize their resources, how do they deal with less resources.
Watch Eureka with Senior Professor Apurva Sareen in STEM NCBS Bengaluru, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Tata Sons have named Natarajan Chandrasekaran as their new chairman. Well, Chandrasekaran was the chief executive of Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS. Well, the decision comes 3 months after the $100 billion conglomerate ousted Cyrus Mistry and appointed Ratan Tata as its interim chairman in October. Well, Rajesh Gopinathan will replace Chandrasekaran at the TCS. Chandrasekaran was the choice of a 5-member selection committee, and he spent his entire career at the Tata Sons after joining TCS in 1987.
Well, I feel very honored. I also feel overwhelmed. This position requires several leadership qualities, and I will need a lot of support. It is never a one-man's job, and it will be a collective leadership. And I will reach out to everyone, including you all.
He's a remarkable choice in my opinion. and he's a great leader. He's a Tata man, Tata lifer. I've worked very closely with Chandra, and I think it's absolutely the perfect choice.
Well, the consumer price index or the retail inflation eased to 3.41% in December 2016 from 3.63% in the previous month. Well, of this, rural inflation stood at 3.83% and urban inflation was at 2.9%. Industrial production also grew 5.7% in November 2016 against the contraction of 3.4% in the same month last year. And the Prime Minister's office has sought a report from the Home Ministry after controversy broke out over a border security force Jawan's video alleging bad food for troops at the line of control. Well, BSF Constable Tej Bahadur Yadav put out 4 videos earlier this week in which he alleges that the troops are served watery, unseasoned dal and burnt rotis. He also talks about how soldiers stand for hours in icy conditions and often going to bed on an empty stomach. In fact, in another video which was posted on social media, now a CRPF personnel has asked that the Prime Minister to look into the pressures of the force, saying that unlike the army, they get no pension and are deployed anywhere on any occasion. A PIL has now been filed in a Delhi High Court, drawing its attention to such videos.
मैंने आर्मी पिछले 2 बरस हम कंटिन्यूअस इवैल्यूएट कर रहे हैं, खाना जो मिलता है उसमें सेटिस्फेक्शन लेवल इम्प्रूव हो जाए और मैं खुद मॉनिटर कर रहा हूं क्योंकि 2012 में या 13 में कंट्रोलर ऑडिटर का रिपोर्ट है, उसके हिसाब से हम लोग कई इम्प्रूवमेंट कर रहे हैं।
ऑलरेडी खाने पीने में कुछ और भी कदम उठाना चाहिए, वो प्रक्रिया भी शुरू कर दिया है और कोई ऐसा घटना ना हो उसके लिए भी सुनिश्चित करने के लिए कमेटियां जो बनाना है ऑफिसर्स के लेवल में, फोर्सेस के लेवल में, वो भी पूरा कर रहे हैं।
तो कमी पाई गई है? आप सर मानते हैं कि जो जवानों को खाना दिया जा रहा था वो सही खुराक नहीं?
हर चीज का अपडेट होते रहना जरूरी होता है। कोई भी काम, कोई भी कार्यक्रम का अपडेट होते रहना चाहिए और हम लोग इसका बहुत ही करीब से जायजा ले।
And a look at what else is making news across the country. Let's go nationwide. The Rose Valley Chit Fund scam accused Trinamool Congress MP Sudeep Bandyopadhyay was sent to 14 days of judicial custody by the special CBI court in Bhubaneswar on Thursday. Now, Bandyopadhyay was produced before the CBI court after his 10 days remand period ended. He was arrested by the CBI on the 3rd of this month for his alleged involvement in the Rose Valley Chit Fund scam case. A meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge and CJI GSKR will be held on 16th of January to appoint the next CBI director. Currently, Rakesh Asthana, a Gujarat cadre IPS officer batch of 1984, has additional charge of the director of the CBI. Now, Asthana's appointment was earlier challenged in the Supreme Court. Delhi has been declared free from bird flu virus, which had scared the city's residents in October last year. This was declared after 2 consecutive samples collected at 15 days intervals from the last positive results tested negative at the epicenters. Now, following the move, National Zoological Park yesterday opened its gates for the public 3 months after the scare had led to its closure. Delhi police has arrested the chief of a separatist militant outfit KCPPM along with a woman associate on Thursday. The chief commander of the Northeast Manipur state-based group Kerong Ranjit is wanted in several militant attacks in the province. Now, Ranjit had come to New Delhi from Nepal to meet an associate in a bid to expand their network. Let's get to the weather update. Well, with temperatures dipping at most places as icy winds sweep the plains following heavy snowfall in the hill states over the past 5 days. Now, cold wave conditions continue to disrupt normal life in North India. At least 25 trains are running late, 8 have been rescheduled and 2 have been cancelled due to the dense fog. Well, Delhi is reeling under a severe cold wave as the mercury plummeted to 2 degrees Celsius on Thursday, recording the lowest in the month of January in the last 3 years and the coldest day of the season so far. Well, the Delhi government has extended the winter break of all the government and government-aided schools till 19th of January. The Met Department has warned that the temperature in the capital will dip further in the coming days. Meanwhile, in Uttar Pradesh, the cold wave conditions also continue as temperatures have sharply dipped in the region. Schools in the state which were rescheduled to open this week that has been extended to 15th of January. While in Punjab and Haryana, the temperature is dipping below the freezing point. The Narnaul in Haryana is shivering at minus 0.5 degrees Celsius, while Amritsar and Adhampur in Punjab are experiencing bone chilly cold at 0.9 degrees Celsius. Speaking about Himachal Pradesh, well, heavy snowfall in several places of the state has further intensified the cold conditions. Resort town of Manali recorded a minimum temperature of minus 6.6 degrees Celsius, while Shimla shivered at minus 3.2 degrees Celsius on Thursday. Now, telecommunication lines, power and water supply also remain affected. At least 10 persons have died so far in the state due to the intense cold. Well, the authorities have also advised people to be alert due to the danger of avalanches in the slow-lying areas of the tribal districts. Meanwhile, in Kashmir, the Met Department has predicted light rains and snowfall at several places in the next 24 hours. Dry weather plummeted the night temperature further below freezing point. Srinagar recorded a minimum temperature of minus 5 degrees Celsius, with Pahalgam at minus 13 degrees Celsius. Now, Gulmarg also recorded a minus 13.5 degrees Celsius. And the temperature in Leh in Ladakh region was minus 17.7 degrees.
इंडिया साहब यहाँ पटरी पे मरे जा रहे हैं, नहीं कोई आग जल रही है, नहीं कोई कम्बल है, नहीं कुछ है, ठंड में ऐसे ही पड़े रहते हैं पटरी में, मरा जाते हैं ठंड के मारे बहुत ज्यादा
है। बिजली नहीं है, पानी नहीं है, क्या करें बताओ। यहाँ इतनी ठंड है कि आग सेक के गुजारा करना पड़ रहा है दुकान से बाहर बैठ।
आने वाले मतलब दिनों में जैसा हमने पहले से बोल दिया है कि 10 तारीख की रात से तो 13 तारीख की सुबह तक ये जो पाला पड़ने वाला और शीतलहर ये तो रहेगी, ऐसा पहले ही बता दिया है। तो 14 तारीख के बाद में थोड़ा सा 21 तारीख तक थोड़ा सा टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा, फिर 21 के बाद थोड़ा और कम थोड़ा होगा, लेकिन ये जैसा अभी कम हुआ ऐसा नहीं होगा।
Let's get you some international news. So, well, US President Barack Obama has awarded his deputy Joe Biden the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest US civilian honor. Well, the medal was awarded with the distinction. A visibly emotional and surprised Joe Biden stood by as Obama heaped praise on what he called was the best possible choice, not just for him, but for the American people. Obama praised Biden for his faith in fellow Americans, love for the country, and a lifetime of service. Well, the award comes as both men prepare to leave office when Donald Trump is inaugurated on 20th of January. Now, Biden has said that he plans to stay active in Democratic Party politics. Well, the Presidential Medal of Freedom has been reserved in recent administrations for just a handful of recipients, including Pope John Paul II.
Joe, for your faith in your fellow Americans, for your love of country, and for your lifetime of service that will endure through the generations, I'd like to ask the military aide to join us on stage. For the final time as President, I am pleased to award our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
This honor is not only well beyond what I deserve.
And Human Rights Watch has warned that Donald Trump and other populist leaders pose a profound threat to the basic human rights. Well, Human Rights Watch singled out Trump for criticism after his presidential campaign, which saw him attack immigrants, mock a disabled reporter, dismiss allegations of sexual assault, threaten to deport Mexicans and ban Muslims from entering the United States. Well, the NGO concluded in its annual report that the US president-elect, also Russian leader Vladimir Putin and other demagogues were seeking to undermine democracy and the rule of law. Well, other world leaders criticized by the report, which reviewed human rights abuses around the world, included Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, and Chinese leader Xi Jinping.
Donald Trump's successful presidential campaign vividly illustrated this politics of intolerance. Sometimes overtly, sometimes through code and indirection, he spoke to many Americans' discontent with economic stagnation and an increasingly multicultural society in a way that breached basic principles of dignity and equality.
News from Syria now. Well, at least 8 people have been killed in a suicide bomb attack in the capital, Damascus. Well, the blast late on Thursday went off in a Damascus district close to key intelligence and military bases. Well, the suicide bomber targeted Kafr Soisan in the southwest of the capital. Well, the death toll is expected to rise with several of the wounded in a critical condition. Well, regime officials said that armed terrorist groups carried out the suicide bombing. However, it is not immediately clear who was behind the attack. Now, such attacks are rare in Damascus, a stronghold of the government of President Bashar al-Assad, which has been fighting rebels in Syria for nearly 6 years. The Syrian conflict started as a largely unarmed uprising against Assad's rule in March 2011, but it has since then escalated into a full-scale civil war that has killed hundreds of thousands and left more than half of the country's population as displaced. More international news in World Wrap. China announced on Thursday a 5-year plan to develop clean energy and open a research center in the South China Sea. Well, the focus will be on developing renewable energy, developing relevant technology and utilize island renewable energy. Well, the move announced by the State Oceanic Administration adds to Beijing's increasing assertiveness over the world's busiest sea trade route. President Barack Obama has ended the long-standing US's policy that grants residency to Cubans who arrive in the US without visas. But the 20-year-old policy allows Cuban migrants who reach US soil to become legal permanent residents after a year. Now, Cuban officials had sought this change for years. In exchange, Havana has agreed to start accepting Cubans who are turned away or deported from the United States. Over 80 flights have been cancelled in preemptive action as heavy snow began falling amid warnings of blizzard conditions sweeping across the UK. Now, London's Heathrow Airport said that the airlines had cancelled 80 out of 1,350 flights. 4 flights at the Gatwick Airport have also been cancelled. The Met Office has issued warnings for snow for much of the UK from today. Retired UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon returned to South Korea on Thursday as momentum builds around his possible run in the elections to succeed impeached President Park Geun-hye. Now, Ban's return comes at a time of national uncertainty, with tens of thousands of people marching in weekly protests demanding the permanent removal of scandal-hit Park, who was impeached by Parliament last month over a corruption scandal. Well, that's it from me and my team in this edition of News. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day ahead.